two. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Jeff Holt. I'm the Vice President of Sales and Marketing here at ImageSource. And I'm joined here today by Tricia Thompson, our Director of Marketing. And she and I today are going to talk about virtual event swag as easy as 1, 2, 3. On behalf of the whole ImageSource team, we're really grateful that you're able to join us today and hope that we can share some good ideas and clarify just how easy it is to do virtual swag for your virtual events. So with that, here's Tricia Thompson.
Good morning, everybody. Like Jeff said, I just want to echo the thank you. This is our very first live stream event, and we are excited to talk about a topic that I think is top of mind for many of you right now, swag for virtual events. What is it? How do we plan for it? How does it deliver? There's a lot of questions, and we're here to help. All of us at ImageSource, your team, this crew on live stream right now. Like the title says, virtual events easy as 1, 2, 3. Our plan is just to take the next few minutes, talk through those quick steps, and then take your questions and answers at the end of the session. So with that, let's go.
Perfect. So easy as 1, 2, 3. So virtual events and sending merchandise, swag items across the country and sometimes across the world sounds more complex than 1, 2, 3. So when we normally start a project here at ImageSource, we start with creative. We try to understand, the purpose of the campaign and how we can best find merchandise solutions to really hit that sweet spot. Is that the way it starts here as well, Tricia? Or how do you know which of the 1, 2, 3? How do you pick?
Jeff, you hit the nail on the head. We start it just like we do every other project that we're working on for you and your team. We start with creative. We take a look at your program and ask our campaign questions. Who's your target audience? What are the goals that you're trying to accomplish? Is there messaging or something that you want to stick with people? About how many people are we looking to reach? How much do you want to spend, and what type of timeline do we have to deliver for you? So we start with creative, and we start with the solution, the branded solution, and how we can best get that in your hands.
So it sounds really like this is just like any other project, really, only a little bit bigger. You start with finding strategic and fun and functional solutions for your program needs. Is that right?
Definitely. What we want to do is take a look and match your branding, your message. Leave your customers with a great reminder of the event experience. And right now, this may be their first formal virtual event experience. And the human part of that connection is definitely missing. And we can help bridge that gap by delivering thoughtful, relevant merchandise that's reinforcing your message, that's reinforcing the experience of the event, and giving them that takeaway that just keeps going with them. Got it.
Okay, so step 1 is reach out to your team at ImageSource and you get that creative process started. That's easy. So on to step 2. And that's really, how do we gather all of the data? How do you gather the addresses for all of your event attendees? And how do you keep it safe? Obviously confidentiality is important. A lot of people are probably given their home address or some sort of alternative address outside of their normal business. So do we have a good way of kind of keeping track and a good way of keeping this confidential?
Definitely. And that is, that's the big piece. That's a big question for everybody right now and can make it kind of the scariest part of this whole process. We are working with secure data collection and transfer platforms and channels, things like Microsoft Forms, programs that are in full compliance with the GDPR, which is the General Data Protection Regulation, which has been in effect since May of 2018. The technology that we're using to support these programs follows all of that. It keeps that PII, that personally identifiable information, secure and safe. The technology is also built to support programs that range in size from a handful of people to tens of thousands, honestly. And your image source team, the group that you guys always work with, your account team, will build this back-end framework and send you a link, for this whole build out in the back end, send you a link and you send it out in your event communications. From there, your users have a chance to give the information that they want out there. They have the chance to opt in and opt out. And we let them know too that this information is being securely collected and used. Most of our events, just to let you know, most of the events that we're working with right now and that we're hosting are between about 100 or so people up to close to 1,000. But we have as few, we've got other teams that are 5 people. We have other big, huge events that are 15,000 people. So scope and scale is as individual as you and your program, and we're here to help.
Got it. So step 2 really is image source building a platform to gather all this client information, addresses. We manage it, we keep it safe. Broken record, that really does sound easy with the tools that we have. Last step is step 3, and that's really a big logistical question. How do we get all this merchandise, across the country and across the globe for many of these big events?
That's the fun part, and when you're in the office, the physical part with all the boxes and crazy stuff going on. A lot of people know we have a warehouse and full fulfillment services here, but a lot of people may not. So we do here in Kirkland, and our headquarters have a full service warehouse where we offer storage, fulfillment services, kitting, project management, shipping, tracking, all right here from our headquarters. We will bring in your merchandise, inventory it, QC it, and then build out the dropship program to your specifications and on your timelines. And that could be something that's coming in and going right out for immediate use, or it could be something that's coming in and being held for later. Okay, so I have a question. Does this mean that we can bring merchandise into our warehouse and store it for future use? Maybe it's something that needs to ship in a month or so for an event that hasn't happened yet, or maybe even like an on-demand. What if I need, merchandise kind of trickled out to me? Is that something that we can do? Definitely. And right now we are, in a time of year where a lot of our customers are at a fiscal year end. And you may be in a use it or lose it type of situation. We can definitely be working with your team right now to figure out what those solutions and what that brand of merchandise is. Bring it in, store it, and drop ship it for you, like you just said, Jeff, on demand. When does your program need it? And then we just schedule it into the calendar, take care of it at that point, and manage the project, from soup to nuts. Okay. What does Tricia? What does the kitting and fulfillment look like? Does it? I would imagine every project is different. It varies from project to project. Can you talk about that a little bit? Definitely. The fulfillment and the kitting is, like I said, as unique and individual as our live programs. Sometimes we're sending a custom designed box with special colored sizzles, 6 items, a name matched collateral and brochures, whatever, all these 10,000 details. Other times it might just be a t-shirt and a note in a fun poly bag that's making sure that your team, is all connected from afar, just a morale booster and something that gets out there and is fun to get in the mail. We build it to your scope, we build it to your budget. Something else to keep in mind too is we do have a lot of shipping options at our disposal. We work through UPS, USPS, FedEx, DHL, local couriers, and more. We know that right now there's probably a little bit of sticker shock about what does a drop ship to all of these individual locations look like. While we're not spending the money on hotel rooms and meeting space and food, we do know that shipping costs to all these folks are not insignificant. So your image source team is really going to work with you to find out what's the most cost-effective way to get these packages into your customers, into your team members' hands.
Okay, well, that was 3 really. You pick the product, you securely gather the shipping information, which is all opt-in, and then we distribute worldwide through different shipping channels. You know, hopefully that makes it simple for the clients who are watching today, and maybe you will watch this after the fact, to really kind of understand, you know, virtual event swag, and the swag is still tangible. You know, it doesn't have to be gift cards, doesn't have to be, you know, something that doesn't exist. It can still be very tangible that way. We've been handling these kind of projects for years, and if you have any questions, you know, you can always reach out to your account executive. We're going to take some questions here on the live event. And if we don't get to your question for any reason, we will either find a way to reach out to you, or your account executive can reach out and start that discussion. And I think, Tricia, don't we have a special little giveaway or contest?
We do. It wouldn't be an image source meeting if we didn't have some goodies to send out. And when I want to challenge you guys, who's fastest? So the first person to send in, you know, hey, I want this, and your name, please type out your name and your email address, is going to get this, if I can open the box. It is a wine thermos and 2 wine coolers, wine a little, laugh a lot, and we will make sure that this gets out to the first person who sends their name and their email address. And we will jump into questions from there.
Terrific. First question that I see posted here, Tricia, is virtual swag is more than just a gift card, right?
Definitely. And you had just touched on that as well. While we can do actual virtual gifts to go with your virtual event, we're here to help you leave, like I said, bridge that lack of human connection and bridge that lack of physical, you know, interaction. Send that actual live swag, send the swag bags, send the box, and we can get any number of different things, all of the fun, functional, strategic solutions that you guys are used to handing out on a show floor.
Right. And if I can address that too, it's, you know, event attendees and whether they're, you know, on your own team or, you know, someone you're meeting at a booth, maybe for the first time, and you're trying to deepen or start a relationship and then deepen a relationship, or even just, you know, thank your own teammates for attending an event. You know, they love the swag, and we're advocating actually that you can still make that important touch, and that important leave behind that lasts for ages, that lasts for a lot longer than the event itself. So through the tools and through the expertise at ImageSource, we can help you send those tangible branding items, those swag items that people have come to love so much. Okay, another question. Have you always been GDPR compliant, and how are you following the guidelines on permanently deleting any attendee information you procure after the event?
This is a great question that we have always done everything in our power to be as on the regulations and the guidelines that have been sent from any of our larger customers, but just safety in general and security. So yes, we have been GDPR compliant. The way that we are permanently deleting any attendee information that we do procure after the event, all of our files that we send are encrypted. They are only open and available to, you know, if we're having a third-party vendor ship this for you, they're only open and available for a small amount of time, and then they go away. We also do a follow-up with those teams to make sure that the information has been deleted. And from our systems themselves, which is where most of this kitting and pieces come from, your information is securely stored in the programs and the platforms that we're using. Once it's done in our office and has, you know, had to be downloaded for shipping labels and that sort of thing, we delete and destroy that information as well, and then close down all of the files online to make sure that that information is not accessible even by our teams later. I'm sure there's more complicated things that go into that, but I know that our team is definitely following all of the guidelines, all of the procedures, and all of the pieces. We don't take lightly the trust that you guys are putting in us in handling these folks' information. And so on our back end of things, we're doing everything possible to keep it secure and away from any hands that want to do harm.
Yeah, that's right. I think, and that was great. And just another thought, all of the platforms that we use for data collection are GDPR compliant. They're primarily Microsoft platforms, and they have that security layer built in. And yes, everything is deleted immediately after the fact. So I don't see any other questions. Maybe we were that comprehensive, Tricia. So unless anybody has any questions.
I do see a couple, Jeff. I'm going to jump in.
Oh, I see.
I do have a question, and I know both of us could answer this, but how is turnaround time, especially with so many companies or workers not in the office? Is transportation limited, et cetera? And I will be honest, turnaround times right now are a lot faster than they have been in the last month or two. We did have a lot of factory shutdowns, a lot of our suppliers and workers not there and not available. Most of the country of our manufacturer partners and supplier partners are open, and if not running at 100%, are very close. So we still are looking at, a standard turn time for merchandise in producing the merchandise itself is usually, between 5 to 7, 7 to 10 days. Then it's got to ship into here at Image Source. And then we usually need a couple of days to turn it back around. So where in the past you may be able to have kind of a 2-week turn to get something in and back out and delivered to your hotel, your convention center, your event, or a lot of you are used to something maybe happening in 24 to 48 hours. We do need to consider that when we're kitting and we're doing all of this data collection and information and sending to individuals' homes, we do need to put a little bit extra time in there to make sure, especially for cost effectiveness, that we are not just overnighting everything across the country and into individuals' homes, and kind of keeping the carbon footprint as low as possible too, as we're trying to get this in people's hands.
Got it. Okay, I do see some other questions now popping in. I'm scrolling down. So question: fulfillment is one thing to the company hosting the event. Storing, shipping, and tracking sounds like it's perfect. But does drop ship include to each individual virtual attendee? So say it's 1,000 people. Are we shipping to 1,000 different places?
Short answer: yes. That's exactly what we're doing. And what's happening is, I'm going to give one of my events as an example. And it was a welcome kit for new employees. And so a week or two ago, they got an email, and a whole bunch of people from across the globe were going to be in this new employee event online. They sent in their information. We fulfilled all of their kits here at Image Source, and we drop shipped to I want to say it was about 130 different locations, both U.S. domestic and across the globe. So yes, we are drop shipping to those individual folks.
Great. Another question from Susan. Can you give some examples of items you've distributed after virtual events? So what have we been sending out, Tricia?
I'll just go back to the event I was just talking about, and it was a welcome kit for being a new employee, and we sent a tumbler. It's their first piece of swag that these folks are getting from their new company, and the hope was that everybody had, a hot cup of coffee or something to drink while they were watching their virtual event, and they all gave a cheers. Now, some other things that we're doing are, we've got some Pride events coming up at the end of the month, and people that sign up for this event are getting things that are representative of their community. They're celebratory, but they're also things that they can take away after the fact. Masks, as PPE is a everyday part of our lives. The team's getting masks, they're getting flags, they're getting, a lot of fun things that they can use afterwards. It all depends. We've done some other trade shows where people get a lanyard. You're used to getting a lanyard at a live event, and that's kind of a big deal for some folks. A lanyard and a badge, and there's a special, hey, you attended this virtual event type of thing. And then there's the, a lot of times instead of talking about mobile and travel type tech, we're talking about what's some work from home things right now. So there's QI chargers that are sitting right there at your work from home kitchen or desk. Drinkware is popular. Masks are really big right now in getting ready to go out to the kits that we're doing, because we know it's a part of everyone's everyday life. So the items are as varied as they were before, and can showcase your event and your logo and your branding.
Right. And just to add to that, I think when we're doing the step one, which is the creative process with our clients, we really do aim to understand the full scope of the project and where are we going to be shipping, how many are we shipping, and if we need to suggest items that are maybe can ship flat or don't have a lot of dimensional weight to keep costs down, that's an important consideration, especially when you're doing lots of different shipments. But it's all part of the process here. We have another question. Can we send you items from us to add to a box to send out to team members? If so, do you handle wine if we ship it to you?
I'll personally handle the wine. No, just kidding. We do take, so if we're already working on a box and some kits for you guys, we definitely can include some other merchandise or collateral if you have that and want to include it. We are not able from our Kirkland facility to ship wine, but we do have teams that we partner with that do have the liquor licenses that can ship wine. So yes, we can put all of those pieces together and get them out for you. I like red.
Perfect. Yeah, I like red too, Tricia, just so you know. We have a question from Heather. If we haven't, I'll field this one. If we haven't specifically worked with you before, should we just call to get assigned a rep to work with or talk to? Yes, and actually, Heather, that would be me. I'll work with you to pair you with the right account executive and sales team to get that process started. And then we have apologies, I was late. Are there any issues with shipping to other countries right now? That's always the $1 million question. What about all these remote countries, Tricia?
We have not encountered that there's anything new or out of the ordinary in shipping to different countries. We always do have some challenges with some countries in certain products. For example, shipping t-shirts into India and Southeast Asia is difficult. That's not new because of the situation that we're in right now. But your image source teams have been doing these types of shipments and kitting for a long time, and we all share best practices and information and where are we getting stuck. Are there certain categories of products we know that we shouldn't ship into certain countries, and we can help guide you that way, definitely.
Terrific. Another question, are you seeing any trends that people are gravitating towards as far as swag items? I would assume for events. And of course, this is industry specific, but anything that has been a big hit or success, what are the most popular kind of trending items right now?
Some of the most popular trending items are honestly things that were the popular trending items beforehand. Tech type items, things that are making your, work on the go a little bit easier, things that are useful, fun, functional, and then PPE kits honestly are starting to really emerge as something that people want to get into other people's hands. We know that we all should have our, our hand sanitizer sitting on the desk next to us if we're back at work. Or before we're going out of our house. Masks are a big deal also, and kind of putting that personalization piece on the mask as they're going to become a part of our fashion, right? So I'm obviously looking for something that goes with black every day, but those types of things are what we're seeing. things also that are helping people be active and engaged with their family or their small circle of people that they may be interacting with right now are very popular, especially, and it makes it easy as we're moving kind of into summertime right now, that there's a lot of things that we can do that kind of are that social distance, awesome gift appropriateness. Does that make sense?
It does, and I would echo your sentiment about the PPE, especially the masks. We're doing an awful lot of different projects for clients right now, for the masks, for sanitizers, all that PPE type stuff. And keep in mind too, masks can ship flat, so it's it may just become part of uniform programs moving forward. Yeah, and as Tricia mentioned at the beginning of this call, we're going to be doing this again in 2 weeks, and our topic is going to be PPE. So if you're interested in hearing more about that, we'll get you the login information for that, the next live stream event. Another question here: can you provide some examples of recent kits you've done for some of your clients? And if you've done some kind of employee morale boost kits, so boosting morale if people are down because they're isolated in their homes.
Yeah, morale boosting kits honestly are some of the biggest things we're doing right now. And the top pieces that people have been asking for is t-shirts and sweatshirts. It's the new at-home uniform, right? What's your comfy sweatshirt? What's your t-shirt that's going to tie you guys all together? What is the, you guys are still at home, we're thinking of you. There's been toilet paper in a couple of kits. There's been some kind of funny pieces. So it just depends on the personality of the team trying to send out. Masks, again, kind of a broken record on that piece, I think, but it's something we're all used to. The kits that we're doing a lot right now are apparel, and that mask is fitting into that apparel category.
Okay, couple questions here to go. This one's from Terry. Besides physical items, are you doing any digital items? Desktop backgrounds, Apple Watch faces, Teams backgrounds, things of that nature?
There are things that we've worked on but haven't been necessarily yet the pieces that have gone in the kits. We are doing a lot of ideation right now around kind of the digital, the actual virtual swag. Some of it is, for example, companies that you can send a link with a gift certificate and somebody can go on and pick their own item. There's different kind of virtual mall type things that, I mean, technically then you are getting a physical piece afterwards. For Timbuktu, for example, you can send a link to a Timbuktu bag. You've given that person a certificate for X amount of dollars and they're building their own bag. Other things that we've been doing are virtual pieces. They're gift certificates. They're things that someone can use and redeem later for either a product or service for the team putting the event on. It's subscriptions, it's upgrades to subscriptions, or they are things to help support the local economies where an event maybe was going to take place, but is now gone online and virtual. And so people are wanting to kind of boost some money back into those communities, and they're partnering with local businesses and services of how we can support there. So it's across the board. There's definitely a lot of options.
Right. One thought on that too is say a virtual, like a gift card, and it's not like an Apple Watch face like I think you're thinking, but this is more, we send a card and maybe it's good for a dinner and a movie, and this kind of relates back to the morale question for employees. But they get a gift card and it has a free movie download, plus X amount of dollars for maybe a DoorDash delivery or something of that nature. So unique, kind of clever, different ways to kind of gift to employees or even clients, during this strange time that we find ourselves in. Last question, and then I think we're gonna wrap up. Apologies if I missed this. Our team loves to give out swag, but we don't have the shipping capability to individually mail swag to all of our students. Is ImageSource able to do this?
Yes. Part 3 of our easy as 1, 2, 3, and we can follow up with that. On this question, yes, we securely collect your data. We bring in the items here at Image Source. We kit, we label, we send out. So the answer is yes, we can take care of those shipping to your students.
Okay. Actually, I think I accidentally missed one. Can you provide some examples of recent kits you've done for some of your clients? This may be something we do after the fact, Tricia. And if you've done any kind of morale, actually, no, I did read that one. I'm sorry. There was another one that I thought, oh, my mistake. I read that one already. So this is the fun of a live event, right? So
we've been pretty good so far.
That's right. That's right. Wouldn't be us if we didn't goof up once or twice at least. So we are human after all. Tricia, unless you have anything to add, I think that's going to bring our first live stream event to a close. And keep in mind, everybody, if you do have questions after the fact, you can either reach out to your account executive, you can reach out to either Tricia or I. You can find our email addresses on imagesourceteam.com. And we thank you so much for joining us today.
Definitely. Thank you very much. Have a great day.